Hello everyone, Lore Master of Sotek here, just with a quick video. You may notice that I'm kind of phasing in and out of reality a little bit because I was stupid and wore a green shirt, but that's because I've been doing other stuff today and just wanted to get this video out tonight since there's not anything else going on right now at the moment. And there's a bunch of stuff coming up for the remainder of this week, so this is kind of my only time to do it. So, for those of you who have been following or enjoying various amounts of Age of Sigmar, you may know that we started a Path to Glory campaign over on the Discord server. It was a lot of fun, and we did use my subreddit, which that's really all it's used for right now, is just to write stories and stuff, to kind of keep track of the stories and battle reports and stuff like that and have a lot of fun. But I noticed pretty quickly that the Path to Glory rules, to say that they're bad is a rather gross understatement. They're super bad. Like, they're just not balanced. The only thing the Path to Glory rules are good for is if you've never played the hobby, you have no idea how to play the hobby, and you're just wanting to randomize what units to get next, then it's okay. But I think for most people, Games Workshop, unfortunately, has been super lazy with how they made it. Which, for those who don't know what it is, it's basically an escalation kind of thing. Which, the idea behind an escalation campaign is that you start with a very, very small army, and then every game your army should get a little bigger, more powerful, and stuff like that. But it just didn't work well, so it just kind of petered out, and I wasn't happy with the way it worked out. So, we're going to do something different. And we're going to be starting it in the very, very near future. It's a new year, so we're going to get a new system going. And if you've been thinking about wanting to try out Age of Sigmar as the tabletop game, we play it online using a game called Tabletop Simulator. So if you're wanting to try the game out, or maybe you have the game and you'd like to play online with us, all you need in order to participate is you need the army book of whatever army you want to play, and you need Tabletop Simulator. That is the only real requirement. Everything else you'll be able to pick up from folks in the Discord, and you'll need to join the Discord server, which most of you probably have. So what we're going to be doing is this. This is a book called Forbidden Power. So it was a campaign, or you could think of it as an edition supplement to Age of Sigmar that comes with some stories and artwork and rules and stuff. But when I was reading through it, I actually found out about a campaign they have in here, which is basically called the Stormvault campaign. Which, if you don't know what the Stormvaults are in the Age of Sigmar lore, essentially there are a massive amount of these mysterious vaults that ages ago Sigmar locked up with a bunch where he put a bunch of artifacts and monsters, minor deities, spells, all sorts of just crazy things that he thought were too dangerous to be let loose in the world. And these engines were put in them that, while they were running, made everyone forget about anything that was close enough to the engine. So basically, all of these vaults were lost to memory. You know, they'd fog out of your mind until you forgot. An amnestic, you could almost call it, if you're familiar with that whole thing. But after the Necroquake that started 2nd edition Age of Sigmar, basically that earthquake, or the Necroquake, which was this big wave of death energy that caused huge magical disruption and physical earthquakes all around the realms of Sigmar, or AOS, the engines were all damaged. And so many of them have stopped functioning properly and either aren't doing as good of a job or have completely turned off. So now all the Storm Vaults are being revealed, and it's a massive cash grab for all the different races to try and fight their way to these vaults, break them open, and take all the goodies inside. So the Stormvault campaign is literally that a Stormvault has been discovered, and everyone who participates in the campaign is a army or faction who have learned about it and are trying to fight their way to it to break it open. So the thing with the way it works is all you really need to know to join us and get started is that it is a true escalation league. So it's based on points, just as if you were playing normally. And the details are that you will pick an army. So you'll pick, for instance, I don't know exactly which of my armies I'll be going with, but you might pick Nighthaunts, or Skaven, or Slaves to Darkness, or Idoneth Deepkin, or Stormcast Eternals, yada yada, Auric War Clans, whatever book or army meets your fancy. You'll join the Discord server, and I will have a new channel on there that's going to literally just be called Forbidden Power. And you will join up on there and make a post. That way I can flag you as someone that's playing in it. That way we have the ability to basically ping everybody when there are announcements. And it is a series of games that'll take place, I think it's over about 6 weeks. It's 6 or 7 weeks, generally, because your goal is to basically win enough battles to claim enough minor locations that you unlock the key to get into the Stormvault. And then the last battle for this campaign is literally a 4-way battle between the top 4 strongest players. As the Stormvault's true location is discovered, everybody fights over it, those top 4 people, and whoever wins that super game is the winner of the campaign. So the really nice thing is that it's kind of to the point, and it's relatively short, being, at minimum 6 weeks, but probably will be more like 7 or 8, with 1 game per week. So if that's something you think you'd like to try out, the starting points will be that you'll need a 1,000 point army, which you can just make. And if you need to learn how to do that, you can, of course, just let people know on the Discord, and they'll be happy to help you out. So I did just kind of want to come on here and talk about it. One other thing is that you'll need to pick an artifact. So the really, really cool thing about this campaign, compared to just being a pure escalation league, is that everyone who participates gets a hold of a legendary artifact, and you are able to upgrade it over the course of the campaign by accomplishing certain tasks. And I will have a post in the Discord that goes over all of them, but just to kind of tell you guys about them so you can kind of hear about it and hear if it's something that you'd like. There are 6 artifacts, and the first one is Geistbane, which Geistbane is this really nasty sword that is able to cleave people's souls apart rather than just their bodies. And the way this works is, and the way all of these work is, when you get an artifact, you're able to give it to your leader, whoever the boss is of your little faction, and it has a power level that goes up whenever you accomplish something. Geistbane, for instance, when you get Geistbane, you put it on a character and you pick one of his melee weapons, and it improves the rend by 1. So he's basically got additional armor piercing. However, if he kills 3 or more enemy models in a game, then he upgrades that weapon. And it doesn't have to be killed in melee necessarily either. You could pick... Oh, no, it does, because melee weapon. I just said that. But at the first level, it gives you +1 rend. That's already pretty nice. But at the second level, it gets +1 attack. At the third level, if it rolls a 6 when rolling to hit, it deals a mortal wound on top of its normal damage. If you get it up to the 4th level, it has a rend of -3 instead of just -1. And at the 5th level, it gives you +3 attacks instead of +1 attack. So stuff like that, really, really powerful. The other ones, you have the Shield of the Pale Knight, which is a shield that renders the person wielding it invincible in a lore sense, but not truly invincible, of course. But it gets more powerful if the person wielding it makes at least 5 save rolls in a game. And it is very, very powerful. It gives you, first level, lets you reroll saves of 1. So whenever you roll a save, if you roll a 1, you get to reroll it, so you're less likely to fail. Second level gives you +1 wound. Third level, if someone targeting you, their weapon has a damage of 2 or more, you reduce the damage of it by 1. That's amazing. If you get to the 4th level, you reroll 1s for all friendly units, within 12 inches instead of just the bearer. And if you get it to the 5th level, whenever you roll a 6 when rolling to save, you get to heal a wound. So already 2 massive differences between those 2 items. You have like a super offensive weapon and a super defensive weapon. But maybe you speed is the name of your game, in which case you can take the Ether Beast Pinion, which is of course a legendary feather from a formidable god beast that makes your guy really, really quick. And it upgrades if you do at least 3 charge or run moves in a game. But to make that easier, just by having the item, so at its first level, it allows you to run and charge in the same turn, which is amazing. Second level gives you +3 movement. Third level gives +1 to all charge rolls for friendly units within 12. Fourth unit lets you retreat and charge in the same turn. And the 5th level gives +6 movement speed to the bearer instead of just 3, and it gives him the ability to fly. So that's awesome. You have the Hex Flame Pendant, which is a kind of a more of a specialty item compared to the others because it has a little bit of an unconventional system. But basically it's an item that allows you to just curse people, and if you it gets stronger if you put at least 3 curses per game on somebody. So at the first level, pick an enemy unit within 18 inches, roll a die. If you get a 4 or higher, they take -1 to hit and -1 to wound on all their attacks. So it's really, really powerful, but it only has a 4-up chance to go off. And you can only do it in the hero phase, so you only get 6 chances to do it. But it only has an 18-inch range, so realistically you only have 5 chances to do it. So it's a little harder to upgrade, but it is really, really powerful. And if you have priests, you actually have the ability to get rid of the hex. But if your opponent doesn't have priests, then they can't get rid of it, which is actually super nasty. So if your opponent doesn't have priests, you can just throw it on them and it's just stuck. Oh, excuse me, never mind. It's a 6-up, the hex goes away, but if you have a priest, it goes up by 1. So armies that have priests can get rid of it easier. So, but at the second level, it has a 24-inch range instead of an 18-inch range. At the third level, if somebody is hexed, their movement is cut in half until they get rid of it. Fourth level, it curses units on a 3-up instead of a 4-up. And at the 5th level, whenever you curse someone, in addition to the hexes, it also does D3 mortal wounds. So that's kind of terrifying. The Realmstone Wand is the 5th item. And this one is you have to cast at least 5 spells per game in order for it to successfully upgrade. So it's the wizard item, but it's also very difficult to upgrade. At the first level, though, it allows the character you give it to cast spells as if they were... It basically makes them a wizard, but if they're already a wizard, then you get to cast an extra spell. So it does give you an extra chance to get that upgrade if your character's already a wizard. So that's really powerful. Second level gets +2 to your casting rolls. Third level is that whenever the model who has it casts a spell, whenever the model who has the Realmstone Wand has a spell cast at them, they ignore it on a 2-up, which is amazing. And let's see. Yeah. So they ignore spells on a 2-up, but if they get a 4-up on that roll, they do D3 wounds back to the wizard who cast at them in the first place. Then at the 4th level, they reroll casting rolls for wizards within 12. That's amazing if you're a magic-centric faction. And then at the 5th level, you know all the spells that everybody on the battlefield has, which is pretty terrifying. And then the last item, because we're talking about all of them, so we might as well keep going, is the Life Stealer, which is the fang of an ancient vampiric horror that has been fashioned into a weapon. And for this, you put it onto one of your melee weapons, and after each battle, if you heal at least 5 wounds using the Life Stealer, it upgrades. At the first level, it makes it so that if whenever you are rolling to wound somebody, if you roll a 6, you heal a wound as you life steal from them. At the second level, if you ever kill an enemy hero with Life Stealer, you get +1 attack until the end of the battle, and that stacks. At the third level, you get to fight at the start of the close combat phase before anybody else, which is amazing. At the 4th level, you pick a friendly unit within 6 inches, or you can pick a friendly unit within 6 inches, and that unit takes D3 mortal wounds, but you get +1 damage to Lifestealer until the end of the battle, which is also disgustingly amazing. Oh my gosh, and that also stacks, so that's terrifying. And then at the 5th level, you can make it so that any enemies that try and attack you while they're within 12 inches of you, they get -1 to hit you. So all the items are super duper powerful, and like I said, it's only a 6 to 8 week campaign generally, so you'll notice that each of those levels, you can only upgrade it once per battle, and you don't even get to use the item until the second game, the second week. So you have to upgrade it every game in order for it to be full power by the end of the campaign. So they're not like super broken items, they're just very good. And you get those in addition to any other items you would normally get for your army. So that's all you really need to know for the moment. The last thing is that the battle will be taking place in Ghur, which is the realm of beasts. So we will be using the realm rules and stuff like that for actually fighting in the realm of beasts for this one. So I hope that sounds interesting, and for those of you who participated, I hope you paid attention to that, but no worries if you didn't. You can just go on to the new Discord channel that's going to be opening up, and you'll find all the information you need there. Without further ado, that's going to be it for this video. I will see you all tomorrow at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time for the final Greenskin Q&A video. There is a post up on the community tab that has a bunch of information for stuff coming out this week. For those of you who enjoy the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing game, there are a bunch of new episodes up on the playlist. Yeah, lots of stuff to come. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you guys on the battlefield. Until then, have a great day.